Welcome to today's episode of ACIT's ProPod, ACIT's first podcast dedicated to the biggest moments and events in professional sports. Since it is January and this is our first episode, there's only one place to start, the NFL Divisional Playoffs. Football is the obvious winner in the favorite sport in America contest, and audiences will flock to their screens regardless if they like a team or just want to see some great NFL action. My name is Brian Lacivita, and I'm joined by a ragtag crew of students in the media program at ACIT and some dedicated football fans. Give us your names and the team your heart roots for. This will always give our listeners a little insight into whether our opinions are coming from our heads or from our hearts.
Hi, my name's Xzavior. My team is the Tennessee Titans.
Hi, my name is Jaden, and my team is the Philadelphia Eagles.
Hi, my name is Ryan, and my team is the Seattle Seahawks.
And again, my name is Brian, and I'm a Philadelphia Eagles fan as well. So, Jaden and I still have something at stake going this week.
Yeah, right?
So on today's show, we're going to take a quick look back at last weekend's games, to preview what's coming up for the divisional. It's going to look back at Wild Card Weekend, or as they call it now, Super Wild Card Weekend. I don't know how you guys feel about the Monday night playoff games. I get the sixth game, but I'm probably on the fence of why don't you do 3 on Saturday and 3 on Sunday?
Yeah.
Especially for the rest and timing thing for all the teams.
Yeah, exactly.
And the fairness of that. So we'll look back and see how the winners advance to the NFL's Elite Eight and what the losers could focus on to improve before next season. We'll take the games in the order they were played. So Ryan, as our resident Seahawks fan, what'd you think about the? Obviously, you can give just your heart's opinion about how you felt about the game. But from a analytical standpoint, what'd you think about the performance? The Seahawks gave them a run in the first half.
I was impressed with the first half because we did a lot of good things with the ball, especially with passing. From those 2 plays, I think it was 2 plays, I'm not sure, but there was one big play, DK Metcalf touchdown on Charvarius Ward. I think that's one of the weak points in the defense of the Niners. They're first in everything, but they still have weaknesses, including their secondary. I think is their biggest weakness.
Yeah, they're suspect of the big play.
Yeah. Especially Charvarius Ward, and especially. And strategies, I think we could have done better on the run game. I feel like Kenneth Walker probably put up more than 100 yards. We'd have a better chance. He did have 70 yards, I believe, around there, which is still pretty good, and a touchdown. But the biggest point in the game that made us lose after half, Geno Smith turned the ball over twice. One being a fumble and one being an interception, back-to-back as well. So that basically just set us up to lose. And I believe with the game, I was impressed this season because we were actually projected to go 3-14.
Yeah, they're definitely one of the teams that shocked a lot of people this season.
Yeah. And I thought we were going to win at half. Obviously, that didn't happen.
It was close.
I should expect the 49ers to come back and win. But we were up by a point at half. For next season, hopefully we re-sign Geno Smith. I think it's the right option. He's deserved it, or he's earned it. And I see us drafting a lineman in the first round with our top 5 pick from the Broncos last year. That trade that was total scam for the Broncos.
Don't the Seahawks have 5 or 6 picks in the top 100 or something this year?
Yeah.
You got lucky. Not only yes, they outperformed what everyone thought they were going to do, but now that you have a quarterback. If Geno blew up in your face and flamed out, there was another Jets situation, you're probably taking a quarterback in that top 5. And now you don't have to. You can sign him for a 4-year deal with a couple options on, considering quarterbacks play to their 50 now if you're not Tom Brady. But they don't have to look that. You got a quarterback. Now you can get a lineman and protect him and get them better. Because you mentioned, Seahawks had a lot of great big plays. You got Lockett, you got Metcalf who can turn a game around in one play. But the short things to keep you in a game sustained, that's something they can improve and make that fix for next year, and they'll be right back in it.
Yeah.
They're well coached. And that defense, with Pete Carroll, it's all about the defense for that guy.
Yeah.
So that's what his focus is going to be. So running and defense. And I think Walker's good. I think he's a good running back. Just give him a little healthy, give him a little help in there because he got a little beat up. But he was healthy in the playoffs, and you saw it. So you're dealing with the San Francisco's defense, which is stacked everywhere but at corner, I'd say.
And
Yeah.
the O-line is...
Yeah, they got to work on that.
And they have
a little
Trent
bit.
Williams,
Yeah, it's-
Pro Bowler and All Pro this year.
exactly. You know,
Yeah.
Is Purdy going to eventually look like a rookie?
Yeah.
Please don't turn into Tom Brady.
Uh,
Can't do that again.
yeah, I hope not, right?
Yeah.
He's gonna play until 64.
Exactly. Nice. Good. Thanks, Ryan. Yeah, that was a good game. And as the Niners have won, 11 games or 12 games in a row now, heading into their
10.
divisional matchup with the 10 or so.
10.
Still really impressive. You're the
Yeah.
hottest team going in the playoffs.
Yeah.
And you're super deep. The next game we'll take a look back at was the, I guess you call it the shocking defeat of the Jacksonville Jaguars over the San Diego Chargers, where the Chargers probably pulled the most ultimate the Chargers have ever charged.
Chargers.
They were, they were up 27, up 27-7 at the half, and do everything possible, I guess, to give the game back.
Yeah.
The question I have with that is, was it play calling? Was it scared? Did Jacksonville just come back and beat them? Or was it a combination of all the above? Were the Chargers trying too hard just to run clock? But they never run.
Yeah, they barely run the
They
ball.
couldn't get the ball running.
Yeah, I don't know why they continue to pass most of the time. It makes no sense when you have a lead like that, and it's
Your biggest enemy is the clock.
yeah,
It's
exactly.
clock.
Joe Lombardi offense.
Yeah, and then of course they can the coach, which I get, and I emailed Jaden after the game, like, how does Brandon Staley keep his job?
Yeah.
But if he's not the one calling plays, and if you have a quarterback like Herbert, you need to open up the book for, and he's played in dink and dunk games. Yeah, maybe a different offensive coordinator will do it. And you know why Joe Lombardi keeps getting jobs? He's got the last name. His grandfather's name is on the trophy, so he's going to keep getting it. But I don't see him getting another one after that debacle.
Maybe if he gets like a Matt Ryan at QB, or maybe like a 55-year-old Tom Brady.
Sure, someone who's going to cover up the mistakes. Yeah, and it's not like Herbert made mistakes. It was just they didn't let the clock run.
It was more coaching.
It was, and it's not like you can say it just was bad play calling. Execution comes in too.
Yeah.
There were a bunch of 3 and outs in the second half, gave Jacksonville a chance to get back in it. And now, the Greek god Trevor Lawrence keeps playing. While, Herbert, we're still questioning whether or not he's going to be that guy everyone thinks he's going to be. I always look at it, I'm always impressed as Jaden knows, this is Eagles fans. We got a special place for Doug Peterson.
Exactly.
And all of a sudden, people are like, "Oh, Doug Peterson's a super aggressive coach, and what he did to San Diego, that's what he did. That's what he's always been doing."
Yeah, exactly.
Going for it on fourth down and going for constant 2-point conversions is a Doug Peterson thing. He's been doing it since he coached the Eagles. He did it in the Super Bowl. When you were talking about it, Xzavior, you and I were talking about it yesterday with the, maybe the play of the game, the call of the game. Was Joey Bosa takes the penalty, slams his helmet on the ground. They move that would have been the extra point up to the 1-yard line. And, Mr. Philly Special decides to go for 2 when they're down 4.
Yeah.
And you miss it, you got to go for a touchdown. It's a good chance you lose that game. But now he puts in a position to win. There's only one word for it, and it's ballsy.
Exactly.
It's like, when I'm,
ballsy.
it's like, the 4th and 1s, the 4th and 2s.
Yeah.
He made it normal. I just think back to the Super Bowl in February 2018, and you're like, are you really going on 4th and 1 and running a trick play?
Yeah.
But the couple plays he called just sealed play calling and knowing tendencies. Good coaching. Good coaching. And it's nice to see, a team like Jacksonville who's known to be terrible for forever have a good season. Now, the question will be, can they continue? Jacksonville's had good seasons like this out their 30-year history, and then the next 10 years are terrible again. And then next thing you know, they're back. And then they're terrible again.
Back and forth.
So, I'm thinking with that quarterback and that coach, they should be all right for a while. But I don't know. It's the Jaguars.
Yeah. And,
If they build the team around them, they can do it. Because, for being honest, because Trevor Lawrence is a rookie, that's the reason why he threw 4 picks in the first half.
yeah.
This is his rookie year. You can't count last year. He sabotaged it. That whole team was sabotaged.
And technically, it's a rookie for the playoffs.
Yeah.
Also, he's not used to the playoffs. He's not used to the crowds. He's not used to all that. But the thing I think that helped him was Doug Peterson's experience. Because not any coach could bring them back from that down.
Just stick to your plan. Run the plays. I don't know if the playoff atmosphere was too big for him because he won national championships in college. I would think that moment wouldn't be too big for him. But you never know. That's why I look at it like Jalen Hurts this weekend. I'm like, he played in college playoff games and things like that. Herbert, it was his first playoff game too, and he looked calm. But that's him.
Yeah.
Maybe it's the hair. I don't know. But he just like nothing about it. This way, it's like you give him a creative offensive mind, he's going to throw for 5,000 yards.
Yeah.
And
He can do the things. I'm not going to put him in the Mahomes category yet, but you see the sidearm passes and the creativity on the field that helps you win games.
literally last year, he did pass for 5,000 yards.
Yeah, as a rookie.
And Mike Williams was healthy.
Mm-hmm.
Keenan out, shaky a tad bit, but now also just in week 18 when they played Mike Williams for no reason, and then he got hurt and he couldn't play on the playoff game.
That was
Did their own coach sabotage him by playing in week 18? And you went in shorthanded. Yeah.
And then Keenan Allen, he's
old. He's
just
still
about
good.
there.
He's not as fast as he was. He's a possession guy, but when he's your guy on the outside, you don't have Mike Williams. It's obvious. It becomes obvious then. Yeah.
He's good. He's not great.
He's good. He's not great anymore. Yeah. He used to be great, but when you're 30-something as a wide receiver, it's your hands. It's not about speed. It's positioning and stuff like that. He's a great wide receiver. It's just he can't do it by himself anymore. He needs more teams around him.
Yeah.
Next, let's move on to the Bills and the Miami Dolphins.
Ooh, what a game.
Another one of these division matchups in the playoffs. And I'm pretty sure this game was a lot closer than anybody thought it was going to be.
Yeah.
You know, no Tua. Sure. What's Miami going to do? Skylar Thompson. And they were down, 17-0?
Something like that.
Yeah.
But this is the Bills.
Mm-hmm.
We can tell Josh Allen's amazingness and his ability to throw the ball over the field. But the problem is he throws the ball over the field. And sometimes he gives it to the other team.
Yeah.
I mean, he led the league in interceptions this year. He gave the other team a chance to stick around. I think Miami eventually showed who they were, but it's the Bills were the better team. It was impressive. Now, was this the Bills gave them the game, or was it a division matchup and Miami knew him well enough to hang around?
I think Miami knew a little bit more because I mean, with the fumble with Josh Allen, that was just bad. I mean, they picked it up and scored. That was bad.
That was bad.
Yeah. Josh Allen just keeps making mistakes. I mean, we've noticed that a lot this season. He keeps making these crucial mistakes that could almost choke them the game, you know? And it's just bad, you know? And you have to take advantage of that as a team for the Miami Dolphins. I mean, they took advantage. They didn't come out with the win, but they took advantage of it.
They kept themselves in the game. I wonder if Miami would have won with Tua playing this weekend.
Yeah.
Interesting.
I think they would have.
Yeah, no one thought the game would have.
You'd have to.
Honestly, the Bills just disappointed me. I think if Tua plays that week, I don't think they underestimate them, and I think the Bills blow them out. Not blow them out.
So they're more
maybe a
focused.
touchdown.
It's a little smaller.
Yeah.
Like they beat them 31-24, but the game was closer than that.
There's no reason
Yeah.
why that should have been so close.
Like it could have been a 34-13 game. The Buffalo would have come out a little more focused and everything. And especially knowing what the Bills are dealing with emotionally with the whole DeMar Hamlin situation.
Yeah,
how much that could be weighing on him. But that could be the kind of thing now that you know he's home. And I think this weekend you're going to see the moment. You're going to see him like run out the team from the tunnel or something like that, and then go back to the locker room or whatever. That place is going to explode.
Oh yeah.
That'll be interesting.
Those Mafia will literally explode. Yeah.
For next year, do you think the Dolphins should run it back with Tua? Or do you think
See,
the injuries and the concussions are too worrisome?
See, the thing is with Tua, it's like he's a good QB. We can't deny that. But I mean, when he had the concussions against the Bengals, it was concerning for the Dolphins, and it was just pretty bad for them. They lost a couple games right after that, right, with Skylar Thompson, and I don't know if you could take the risk of him constantly getting concussed, every time he gets sacked. So that's my take on it.
It is very risky. We see in other sports too. These guys take a couple big hits and that's it. Yeah. This goes beyond football in a way. They say, the last couple weeks, and they go, but you get 5 or 6 at a time. We have enough players who have killed themselves after their career, or harmed themselves or their families because their brains are so destroyed they can't think straight anymore. Like you got to think about things like that.
Like Junior Seau, he was
Exactly.
just out. AB.
Yeah.
That's the biggest name right now.
Yeah.
He's doing this
And
shit.
and then I guess then you knock on wood, one thing is all the damage he's causing is to himself, making himself look like a fool. But yeah, you got to think at some point something cracked in him, and it could have just been one shot too many, one hit to the head too many times. It's like, a boxer taking too many headshots over the course of a career. And that'll be interesting to see what the Dolphins do, because they were in a great position. They were first in the AFC like 10 weeks ago,
Right.
and then injuries kick in and it all kind of wears out. So let's see what they do next year.
I'm sure they could do fine next year. If they have a good QB, Tyreek Hill, Jalen Waddle, they're gonna go crazy.
Yeah, you got a lot of talent.
Yeah,
Just-
that team is really talented.
All they need is an average QB, honestly. Better than
True.
Skylar Thompson.
True.
Yeah.
True. But he was a rookie. Not to say he couldn't have a full training camp and a full year of practice. He could be a decent quarterback. We don't know.
Yeah.
But still, Skylar Thompson.
Like we said, he did pretty good in the playoffs. He put up 31 points. I find that really impressive against a Bills team that's basically almost healthy.
Pretty very healthy. Yeah.
Nah, but quick question. Was that the offense around him, or was it really Skylar Thompson, though? That's the question. Because he played all right.
He played all right.
But
Yeah.
the offense can be so much better if they just have someone.
Yeah.
If they had like a Kirk Cousins, even.
Who's accurate and consistent and yeah. Yeah. I wouldn't want that guy if I had a serious game to play in prime time, but he's better. I'm wrong, he's better. All right, next, let's take a look at the Cincinnati Bengals and their win over the Baltimore Ravens. Another close game, another divisional matchup. Did the Bengals play down?
Oh,
The
that's absolutely.
Yeah.
I'm really disappointed in the Bengals this game because if the Ravens don't go if they don't quick huddle for a QB sneak on the 2-yard line.
Yeah, that was crazy.
You can literally see on the replay, Huntley reaches over for a yard.
He's a full yard away. Yeah.
Full yard away, and then it is Logan Wilson who smacks the ball out of his hands, and Sam Hubbard runs the ball.
Never seen a lineman run that fast.
I'm surprised Mark Andrews was catching him for a second there until that was an illegal block in the back, but they didn't call. No call. But
I might have seen that too. Yeah. That was questionable. Side, back, yeah. But yeah, the Ravens were literally about to take the lead.
They were.
Late in the game, and it took a play that you can't rely on happening.
Yeah.
98-yard defensive touchdown to basically win the game. We basically says what we probably need to know about the Ravens, and we've known this for years. Without Lamar, they're not much. They can't run the ball without him because it's kind of like I always think about running quarterbacks and the way the Eagles run the ball, but they can still run the ball without Jaden. Or a running team as a running, but you can't compare the two quarterbacks. Lamar is a game breaker. Now it's like you know what it's like to not have him. It's 2 years in a row that he hasn't finished the season. Do the Ravens open up their bank account?
Right.
I don't think you give them. No one gets Mahomes money.
Yeah.
Sorry, no one's getting $500 million. No one's the unicorn.
he probably wants that Watson money.
He wants that Watson money, but do you give it to him? He's
I
missed a lot of time. Or do you give him like a super guaranteed deal that's not the $250 for 5, maybe a couple less, or something like that?
something like that.
I think it's the same thing with Tua in a way. Like if Lamar can be healthy the entire season, I think they give him the money. But if he can't really be healthy like this season, then I wouldn't. So it's like a risk that these teams are gonna have to take in order to pull forward and head to the Super Bowl possibly.
I'd go to him and be like, I'll pay you $50 million a year.
Yeah.
Oh no, I can't. I'll pay you $38 million a year and put that $12 million into a quality backup because you're gonna get hurt.
Yeah.
And that should be like in his contract. Kyler Murray has to actually read and study his playbook. And Lamar just has to stay healthy and pay for his backup because it's the only way that team's ever gonna survive.
Okay, but this really shows the difference between a great QB on an okay built around team and an okay QB on a great built team. Like, without Lamar, they're going to suffer because they have no wide receiver help. Their best wide receiver is Sammy Watkins. And hey, he ain't even on the field for
How is he still in the league?
Honestly, I don't even know.
He has one good game the entire season, and then you never hear his name again. And then also, the reason why the Ravens lost because of bad coaching. if they don't quick huddle there, that they probably use their brain and say, hey, let's not QB sneak on the 2. And also, on the last drive, they drained 33 seconds for no reason with 1 minute left.
Yeah, that was.
That's what screwed them over.
And that's a coach that's won 2 Super Bowls and is, I think at this point, a Hall of Famer with Harbaugh. And you make those calls. Is he juggling too many things because his team is decimated and missing players, or is he trying to get creative? I think beyond it, thinking past what they normally would do, and it's costing them games in their seasons now. Yeah, I mean they were not even making the playoffs if Lamar got hurt even earlier in the season. That'll be interesting. I think they don't have a choice. I think you got to pay them because it's the devil you know kind of thing.
You don't have a team if you don't pay them.
True. I mean, what are your fans going to do if you just let them walk?
The system is built around.
They're gonna head to the Jets.
Exactly.
Great.
That's the thing. That's why that NFC East thing with like the Dolphins being better. Still got to deal with the Bills, but the Jets might only be a quarterback away for being good. So it's like, if Baltimore, you don't want to pay Lamar, and the owner or the GM of the Jets last week said he's like, I will pay whatever I have to pay. I will spend the money for a quarterback because they haven't had one since Namath. Okay.
And he only put up like 12,000 passing yards.
His legacy is he won that Super Bowl. He guaranteed and won the Super Bowl.
And then he cursed that franchise.
Yes. Hey, I think there's a lot of franchises that have owners who have like sold their soul to the devil for a championship or 2, and then that's why their team's terrible for the next like 60 years.
I won't be that surprised.
Yeah, there's something. This is coming from a Flyers fan who's pretty sure the owner of the team sold his soul in the 70s for 2 Stanley Cups, and that's why they haven't done anything since. That's a discussion for a whole other podcast. Next, let's take a look at the Giants over the Vikings. Xzavior, you wanted to take a look at this one first.
Yeah. So the Giants relatively did not have to play that hard this game. Because coming into this game, both defenses were bad. They were really bad, I can tell you that much. But the thing is for my prediction, I picked the Vikings over Giants. My reasoning for that was because they have Justin Jefferson. They should be able to do something, absolutely something.
Yeah, that offense is high-powered. I mean, Justin Jefferson is a really good wide receiver. I think one of the best in the league, honestly.
I think he is the best.
He is.
Yeah.
Yeah, he probably is the best. Yeah.
But Justin Jefferson caught 7 balls for 43 yards.
They kept him in close.
43 yards. But
I mean, that's your strategy, though. It's like, all right, it's like the Jordan strategy. Let Justin Jefferson get his. Don't let him kill you, but let him get involved. Make him feel like he's part of the game.
Yeah.
Take everything else out, and what do they really have? I mean, Dalvin Cook is a very good running back, but he isn't shown to be that guy.
you got old man Thielen.
Yeah, Thielen, who barely even showed up this year.
Very gritty.
Yeah, I mean, I like it. He's a great route runner. It's a great story. He was an undrafted guy, I think. And
Not very athletic, but he's
yeah, I mean, that's what we learned with the NFL. You don't have to be the fastest or the biggest. If you can run a route and you can catch a ball, you'll be all right for a while.
Right.
But I think we can all agree this proved what we all knew all season, that the Vikings were frauds.
Yeah.
They were the worst, 13-win team ever.
Yeah.
Or something like that.
Something like
Their
that.
point differential was terrible.
It's -1 and they won 13 games. That shouldn't be possible.
They won by a field goal every time.
Yeah, exactly. It was less than a possession, 10 of their wins. I don't know if you're watching the football of your lifetime, you know that as soon as that team has that run of what's kind of luck, and you're pulling games out late, it's going to drop at some point, whether it's the same season or next season. And there it was. It was one possession, and Kirk Cousins throws the ball for 3 yards on 4th and 8 to complete the pass. So his stats look great.
Yeah.
What are you doing? I don't care if there's 9 guys with Justin Jefferson. That's where the ball goes, and you let him make the play to save your season.
Yeah.
I mean, I'm not complaining the Vikings aren't there anymore. It's fine.
Yeah.
But
You gotta lead T.J. Hawkinson towards the sideline to try to get extra.
he was all over the place.
Yeah.
He caught 11, 12 balls.
Yeah.
Sunday?
120 yards.
Why don't you feed that guy?
Yeah.
He was open all game. Feed the guy. Feed him. Make it look like you're going to Jefferson and you got a guy. It's 9 yards.
Yeah.
I know I could do it right now, but
Yeah.
I mean, if you're that good of a team, that's it. You let a team that that in a sense, the Giants are the other surprising team next to the Jaguars still playing this late in the season. The Giants probably should have won 4 games based on their roster for a season, but now they're going on a little bit more.
And probably coach of the year on their side.
I think Daboll's a hands down. Yeah. And this has got to be the start of something. I mean, Daniel Jones looks like a legitimate NFL quarterback.
Eli Manning too.
Yeah, with a little more motion, a little faster, a little more movement than that. It'll be interesting to see. I don't think the Vikings have to make many changes. But the GM already said that he expects Kirk Cousins to be the starting quarterback next year. So bring it back, run it back, over and over again, Vikings.
Honestly, after looking at the stats the last couple games, I looked at Justin Jefferson's stats. The last 3 games, including the playoff game, he's had under first 2 games 5 targets, 1 catch. 5 targets, 4 catches, 30 yards. I don't know how many targets he had this game. Like, only had 7 catches for 43 yards. I think something is happening here. I think Kirk Cousins might not be throwing Mans the ball no more.
It's sabotaging yourself. And I don't get the point. It'll be interesting if anything else comes out about that, especially when the off-season officially starts with the contracts and bonuses and that kind of stuff. Because I know Kirk Cousins' contract is up, so they don't have to re-sign him. That'll be interesting.
Kirk Cousins. Well, where was I going with this? Justin Jefferson was only like 180 yards or something like that away from breaking Megatron's record.
Yeah.
If a QB really wanted his wide receiver to get that record,
he would have found the ball.
He would have found him the ball. But I think there's controversy there. You are never going to win a playoff game with Kirk Cousins. You're never going to.
They've won a playoff game.
No,
that was it. Playoff game. And it was probably the 1:00 Sunday game.
Funny enough. You're never making it past the divisional. Don't even think about the Super Bowl. Never gonna happen. If I'm Justin Jefferson, right when my contract's about to be up, I'm leaving if they still have Kirk Cousins at QB. But that's just me. Just like Megatron did. Not Megatron, Randy Moss.
Oh, yeah, had enough. It's time to, give him a chance to win, you gotta move on eventually. Yeah, eventually, because they're gonna have to pay him a lot of money.
Right.
So, but is it for him? Is it going to be the money, or is it going to be a chance to win?
Right.
Yeah.
I want to say I was impressed with the Giants. Isaiah Hodgins, I think he's like he was like a free agent or a practice squad, something like that, and he really showed up in the game.
He did.
I think he had 2 touchdowns. Pretty sure.
Yeah. I forget what team. I was listening to another pod I was listening to. They said a team tried to sneak him through waivers to get him on their practice squad, and the Giants just reached in and grabbed him, and now he's like their best wide receiver.
Funny.
I mean, the Giants are playing with house money now.
Kenny Golladay, that's all you need to say.
All that sitting around counting his money. I thought it was so funny when they were playing the Eagles in the last game of the season. They were like, who's that? Is that Kenny Golladay? Still playing?
1,000, 2,000, 3,000.
How can you not make that work? I don't know. I don't get it.
But also, it's the different people that sign him. Gettleman signed him.
Sure.
So maybe they just don't want to make him work.
Let him cut him this year and get that money. Move on. Yeah, you're right. Different management, big difference. All right, to wrap up our first segment, Jaden is going to take a look at the Cowboys over the Buccaneers on Monday night.
Oh my goodness. All right, here we go. So Dallas came in with a loss, 20-point loss against the Commanders, which, I mean, most of us thought, the Cowboys are going to lose against the Buccaneers, right? Well, it turned out the other way. I mean, 31-14. It's pretty bad. I'm not going to lie to you. Tampa Bay's defense is just not that. It was not there that entire game. And, I mean, Tony Pollard also had a pretty good game. I mean,
I think the Buccaneers, they had this issue all year. They got terrible starts. They scored a lot of stuff late. They look slow.
Yeah, they did.
They just look old and slow. And that's not counting for Tom Brady. His arm still looks all right. Yeah. But it's the wide receivers, and Fournette has nothing. Looks like he has nothing left. Like, he's getting off the line.
I mean, they have the worst run offense in the league.
Yeah. The other offensive line doesn't help. Brady spent a lot of time on his back this year. It's one of those, it's like, all right, the Buccaneers weren't very good. Dallas is super talented.
They are.
And Dak is good enough to beat that team.
Yeah, the best game of his life.
Didn't he? I think he led the league in interceptions, actually.
Yes.
Sure.
Was it Brady?
I think.
No, Prescott.
Oh, Prescott.
I think he's tied. After missing 5 games, funny enough.
True.
Yeah.
And there was a string of like the last 4 or 5 games of the season. There was a pick 6 in every game that Dak threw. You know, that didn't happen this weekend because Tampa Bay's defense is
Not there.
is
at all.
bad. And
Yeah.
that's the thing. When Bruce Arians was their coach 2 years ago when they won the Super Bowl, they were flying up and down the field.
Yeah.
Bowles was the defensive coordinator, and they had the best defense in the league. Arians retires, and they think maybe Tom Brady pushed him out a little bit. And then you got a defensive coach, and their defense is terrible. Their offense looks non-existent. It's
Anyway, another thing about this game: 4 missed field goals. Brad Meyer.
Extra points.
extra
yeah.
points.
Yeah, extra points. Oh man. He was nominated Burger King Player of the Game. Burger King Player of the Game.
Gotta keep the spirits high.
Yeah. I was laughing that entire game just because of Brett Meyer.
They gave him the standing ovation when he hit the 5th one.
And I think
Nice.
the crowd was laughing too. Is
Yeah.
what he
Like,
did.
okay. That's the thing. He's a decent kicker. He had a good season.
Yeah.
So I mean, was it a case of the yips in the playoffs or what? And they signed somebody to the practice squad this week,
Yeah.
just in case. But
Is an old Chargers kicker before he got fired by
oh, that makes total sense then. Because he just brought that Chargers bad luck to Dallas. Love it even more now.
Let's go.
The more the Cowboys suffer, the more I enjoy it.
Another question here. Do you guys think that Tom Brady is gonna win another ring coming up?
No.
Or no?
No,
There's a chance. It's Tom Brady.
It's a chance. It depends on where he goes. He needs like there's that. Does he go to? That was talking about Oakland. Obviously, they're getting rid of
Jets.
their car. The Jets. They're talking about San Francisco because he's from San Francisco. So does he go home and things like that? But if he does something like that, and if you really go with, I can see them getting rid of Trey Lance and just pushing forward with Purdy.
Yeah.
Hey, if he's decent, he's the average quarterback who can get you over the hump with a good team.
Mm-hmm.
It's like it's a situation. I'm not saying he couldn't end up that'd be hilarious if he ended up on the Jets to play the Patriots twice a year and then win a Super Bowl out of that division. That'll be hilarious.
That would be hilarious.
Yeah.
But honestly, after watching that game, I think Brady's gonna fall off a little bit. But Brady, he's up here. He's gonna be probably like a little bit here after this, and he's just gonna keep going down and down and down.
See, the thing with Tom Brady is before he used to make average players look great, but now he needs elite players to make him look good.
Like
I think that's
True.
the thing right now. I
like
mean,
Chris Hogan, Danny Amendola, Julian Edelman.
All the guys
Yeah.
he raised up.
yeah,
Now he needs Randy Moss.
yeah.
He needs to go back to that. He needs that. Yeah. No, you're right. You're right. It'll be interesting because the more talented team won, the Cowboys, and we've seen them do that. Like, hey, what was the score when they played the Vikings? It was like 40-3.
Yeah.
So we know they can beat up on bad teams.
Mhm.
It'll be interesting to see when they play arguably the best team in football. You know, this weekend. A classic rivalry. All right. That's a review of our games from last week. We'll be right back after this quick break.
Attention ACIT students and staff. 2022-2023 yearbooks are on sale now. The $85 cost will rise to $90 after January 27th. Yearbook senior ads are also available to order again. They are on sale until February 9th. No more extensions will be provided. Order your yearbook at www.jostens.com/YB23.
All right, welcome back, everybody. We're going to jump into the games for this weekend. And actually, I think Jaden's going to start us off with this one. The first game on Saturday, the Jacksonville Jaguars against the Kansas City Chiefs.
Okay. The Chiefs.
The Chiefs. It's one of my favorite commercials ever. It's the guy painting the end zone and he forgets the I, and he writes chefs in the end zone.
Speaking of chefs, I mean, the Chiefs were cooking this season. They were literally cooking with Mahomes.
All
Got
right.
the stir fry on hand.
Like this with the Jacksonville Kansas City, I just look at it is it's the Greek god against the unicorn playing against each other, basically.
Yeah.
But it's the coaching tree.
Mm.
What do you got?
So last week, I mean, Jaguars struggled against what's his name, Gerald. What's the tight end?
Everett.
Gerald Everett. I mean, he got 100-something yards. And coming into this game against Kansas City, they got to prepare for Travis Kelce. That's their main threat. Travis Kelce's the main threat, along with the running game from McKinnon and Isaiah Pacheco, right? I mean, that defense is really good too. along with the offense. They're just a really balanced team.
Jacksonville. Kansas City wins. I think it's their 5th straight AFC title game. It depends on who they play, whether or not that game will actually be in Kansas City or not.
Yeah.
And we're still waiting for the results of that. But I think it'll be an interesting game. And, Andy Reid, Doug Peterson, as the coach of the Jaguars, was Donovan McNabb's backup quarterback when Andy Reid was the coach of the Eagles. So there's the history there.
Yeah.
Doug was an assistant coach under Andy, or the offensive coordinator for a few years before he got the job in Philly and stuff like that. So, you got 2 coaches that know each other very well and their tendencies, the way they play. I mean, obviously, you got Kansas City's a better team.
Yeah.
They've been here, they're experienced. Jacksonville, like the Giants, playing with house money. They have nothing to lose.
Yeah.
But I wouldn't put past Jacksonville to show up and play well. But again, they get off to really slow starts. And they have to play these comeback games all the time. And Kansas City gets up 21 on you. They're not San Diego. And even Andy Reid has learned to run the ball after being a coach for 25 years. I'm sorry, Mahomes won't let that happen.
Yeah.
But also, if their play style is so similar, what's it to say that Andy Reid doesn't just shut down Peterson completely because he already knows his play style?
It's true. It's very true.
It's Larry him.
It's and it'd be interesting because the one thing Andy wasn't that Doug is that super aggressive, go up for a 4th down, go for 2-point conversions constantly. I wonder how much Jacksonville's going to need to do that to stay up. Like if they get down and they're going to have to. I guess it all depends on how it starts. I can say, it's all about the first half of the game, but you look at last week's and Jacksonville looked bad in the first half, and then was amazing in the second half. Let's go to tea lunch. All right. Obviously, I will edit this out. And they already played each other earlier this season too.
Yeah.
Kansas City won, but it was a close game.
It was.
I think this will be a really interesting game.
I think it'll be closer than the first one, honestly. But that's only if they can hold down Kelsey and the running game from the Chiefs.
Yeah, good luck with that.
Never gonna happen.
Kelsey.
Never, ever.
I think mainly they have to slow down Mahomes. That's
Yeah.
their main
Him
threat,
too.
not Kelsey. Because, Kelsey would still be good with the average QB, but like...
True.
Yeah.
Got to keep him in the pocket. Got to keep him from doing those crazy creative on the outside plays. And it's not the running that's the threat. Because he gets to the outside and you think he could run, and then he, throws it from between his legs and guy 50 yards down the field for a touchdown. That's the thing you got to worry about. He sees the game very differently than everybody else does. Yeah, it's amazing.
Yeah.
It's amazing how Andy Reid put his finger on that guy. It's beyond me.
Good pick.
If you were to, all right, let's pick winners.
Oh, jeez. All right.
I put mine on the chart earlier. To let everybody know, last week we did pick our games. We picked the 6 divisional games. I and Jaden both won. Jaden and I both won 5-1, and Xzavior and Ryan both won 3-3. So it's a pretty close matchup right now. I took KC to win this game. I think it's pretty obvious.
Yeah.
I can see Jacksonville winning, though. You got to take a couple upsets. I'm taking Jacksonville.
Okay. I see not Jax, KC. I see KC.
There's been a lot of close games.
Yeah, they've been in a lot of close games this year, more than usual.
Never bet against Patrick Mahomes. That's my ego. That's my style.
That's standard.
Yeah.
But Ryan's got good strategy because you want to come back in the standings. You gotta hope somebody falls to come back to beat us with that one. Mm-hmm. Good. I think that'll be a good game to start because just in case Kansas City does come out and wipe them off the field, at least it's the first game Saturday afternoon.
It's like when I picked the Jags last weekend, yeah. Yeah, it was just me that picked the Jags, and luckily I came out
right.
top.
I picked them in my pool with my friends.
Yeah.
And picked them all. I was like, all right, that was the one that I was on the fence about,
Mm-hmm.
and then there we are. Yeah, that'll be a good game. That'll be anytime we get to watch Kansas City is you gotta watch Mahomes. It's a treat to watch.
Yeah.
And the AFC we don't get it very often every year, so I get to watch that as even if they score 70 points and beat them by 90, it's just the math doesn't work, but it'll be interesting to watch. The math does not matter. All right, second game for the divisional playoffs. Xavier's going to kick this one off. It's the Giants versus the 1-seeded Philadelphia Eagles. Jaden and I are going to kind of keep our opinions back for a second.
Yeah.
Because it'll be hard to tell whether or not where it's coming from. Take it away.
All right, we're gonna have the New York Giants go up against The fly, Eagles, fly, Eagles.
New Jersey Giants.
But, yeah. Okay, so a big problem for the Giants is that it's kind of funny. They led up the 27th most rushing yards all season. And, the Eagles might run a little bit. Every once in a while, Jalen Hurts is just rushing for 500 yards a game. Like 50 touchdowns. He's literally their offense. Then also, they've allowed the 30th most first downs.
The Giants have.
Yeah.
I like that stat.
Like, almost every single play the Eagles do, they're most likely getting a first down.
Hey, that's a good stat.
Like, the Eagles, they're the best rushing offense in the league. We can basically agree on that, yeah.
Yeah, I wanna say I think Miles Sanders is an average running back because his O line is just so good that they can make the most.
I can't really argue that. I think he's a good running back. I don't think he's elite.
Yeah, he's average.
Because
Maybe a little bit above average.
both Gainwell and Boston Scott averaged almost 5 yards carry too. You got that line in front of
You got
you.
Lane
And
Johnson
the
there.
four of us could probably run through it at the same time, arm in arm. Yeah.
Personally, I'm taking Jordan Howard over Miles Sanders, but
I
that's
miss
just
Jordan
me.
Howard. I liked him. He was. I like a guy who could find his way through a hole and then fall for 3 yards. It's a lost skill. Everyone's trying to break touchdowns. This guy was 4 yards, first down.
Well, that's also because the running backs just aren't built like that. Now
True.
they're mostly now built elusive, other than Derrick Henry.
Correct.
But yeah, but back on the topic.
Xzavier is a Titans fan.
Okay, but AJ Brown's probably going up against what? Darnay Holmes. Who's Darnay Holmes? Can anybody tell me who Darnay Holmes is?
I don't know who that is.
Some guy who's going to be running to catch up to AJ Brown this weekend.
And that's not even talking about Devonta Smith. That's not going to talk about the tight end Goddard. Although the linebacking core is okay.
Yeah, it's okay.
If the Eagles lose this game, they're honestly the worst franchise in the league. They're the worst team in the league.
I wouldn't be surprised.
I don't know if losing this game makes them the worst franchise in the league.
Yeah, that goes to the Texans.
I'd say this loss, if the Eagles do lose this game, I think it's as devastating a loss as like some of the NFC
it would be
Championship
very
losses
disappointing.
from 20 years ago.
If they lose this game, they're going 2-15 next season. I'm already
2-15.
way down on the books.
2-15.
That's
is
worse
crazy.
than 2020.
Yeah, seriously.
I'll go 7-10 next season.
You know, honestly, hot take. I would have rather played the Cowboys than the Giants.
Really?
Yes.
Oh.
Well, if we win and the Cowboys win, you might get your wish next week.
Man, I don't
Yeah.
agree with that.
No.
To be honest with
You're-
you. The Giants
Listen.
is a like they're just not as good as the Cowboys. They don't have Micah Parsons. They don't have Trayvon Diggs.
Yeah.
The Giants is literally bread and butter. All you have to do is eat it. It's there.
That's fair.
It's already buttered for you. It's cut open. Just eat it.
Just eat it. Don't even think about it. I mean, this has probably hands down been the best regular season in Eagles history. I mean, the way they beat teams, even though they weren't, like in 2017, there was a string of games where the Eagles had beaten teams by 20, 30 weeks for like 6-7 weeks in a row. Like, it was ridiculous. I'd never seen anything like it. But it was very similar. They got turnovers, they threw the ball down the field, and that was really it. After watching enough, and on the 2 games they actually lost that were competitive, the 2 that they really didn't have Jalen Hurts, the Christmas Eve game against the Cowboys, and the one against Washington earlier, they turned the ball over 4 times and still had chances to win both games. And this is as a diehard Eagles fan, but who watches more football than I probably should. I think the only team really, if the Eagles came out and played well, and just played at least 75% as good they were during the regular season, I think the only team that can beat them is themselves. I think if they come out, line up, and just execute, they should be able to out-execute everybody. I mean, you saw it a game against the Titans. I mean, they tried to shut down the run, and Jalen Hurts just launched the ball all over the field, and everyone's like, he's not a throwing quarterback. 350 yards. The next week, you take away the passing game.
Best cornerback.
Well, yeah,
And our best linebacker.
You take the matchups.
And our best D tackle.
You take the matchups that are presented to you.
And our best receiver.
You take advantage of the situations. The next week, they took away our passing game, and what did they do? They ran for 350 yards. And it's not all just Jalen Hurts. You have options around the field. I'm a little concerned. The Giants are good. The Giants are showing they're well coached. These guys who were nobodies 16, 17 weeks ago are proving they can be players. And all they're getting is experience, means they'll be better next year. This is house money. The Giants have nothing to lose.
Literally.
But I'm still not buying in that Danny Dimes is that good. Yeah. Especially he played a great game, yes. Against a terrible defense. You know, the numbers don't lie. It's either gonna be two ways. The Eagles are winning by like 3 points, or they're up like 17 early and this game's over.
Most likely.
Yeah.
But honestly, this might be a little bit of a hot take. I don't think it is. This is going to come up to coaching this game most likely, and I think Brian DeBoer is way better coach than Nick Sirianni.
I mean, he's got that. I mean, it might be his first time as a head coach, but he's won 4 or 5 Super Bowls. He's been offensive coordinator. He's been there. Yeah, you're completely right. This is new to Sirianni. The one game they played last year, they barely even were there.
But it's good that he's not calling the plays.
Correct. He can focus on the game management stuff and all that. My biggest concern is the defensive coordinator. There's Jonathan Gannon, who loves to lay off wide receivers. It'll be 3rd and 4.
Soft coverage.
And he's hitting his soft coverage 10 yards down the field. And I'm like, why just stand at the line of scrimmage or a line before it so you'll have to go first down? They're like the opposite Kirk Cousins. They're like, here, take the first down. And I get you don't want to give up 60-yard bombs. You'd rather give up 6 yards, little things, but that adds up. It keeps your defense on the field. It keeps your offense off the field.
That's the reason why, the Commanders in the first game they lost was averaging 9 minutes drive.
Yeah, run the ball and keep them off the field. I mean, that's the key. If the Giants can get the ball first and run a long drive and score a touchdown, take the crowd out of the game, that'll be a huge thing. I mean, I still think the Eagles come back and win a game like that. I hope it doesn't. I hope by 9 o'clock I'm just smiling.
Hopefully.
I can see either result.
But yeah, division game. It's that division game thing too. It's hard to beat a team 3 times in a season. Yeah. And now they know you, and how much are they gonna exploit it? Yeah.
See, another weakness, I think time of possession. Like we were just talking about, time of possession. I mean, you look at the game with the Saints, we barely got the ball that game.
Barely.
Because you kept giving it back.
Exactly. I mean, how much time did they have?
Almost 40 minutes in that game?
Yeah, we barely had 20. I mean...
And we were still only a possession away from winning that game. So
that's still good, though.
Take advantage of your opportunities. It's key. Time management is huge.
Time management.
Possess the ball. So what do you guys think for picks for this? I already put it in my thing. I'm picking the Eagles. My heart and my head. You've been the best. You've been basically the best team in football all season. You shouldn't lose this game.
Yeah.
You shouldn't lose it. You're at home. You're rested. Even if Jalen's 85%, it's still better than most of the quarterbacks in this league.
Yeah. Personally, I mean, I'm rocking with you, Mr. Owen. I'm rocking with you.
I can see it going either way, and I wanted to pick 2 upsets, but I'm going to go with the Eagles, for sure.
Okay, so I know the Eagles are a better team. The Eagles should win, but since all you guys are picking the Eagles, I'm going with the New York Giants by 40.
By 40?
Whoa! Wow.
No, not by 40. No.
I think it means by 4,
by
maybe.
15.
Maybe
by 15. Yeah.
15.
15.
Wow.
I'm calling
That's impressive.
the Giants to win by 2 touchdowns right now.
That's a hot take right there.
That's a really odd
If they win, it's going to be by 1 score. Touchdown, field goal.
And
that's more realistic.
If you look at the history of the Giants, in their lifetime of the franchise, they've been known for being a team who comes out of nowhere as a wildcard team, wins the game, and then goes on to win the Super Bowl.
2007.
Yesterday, I heard a stat that said every year the Giants have won a playoff game, they've gone to the Super Bowl.
I don't like that stat.
So that's a stat I don't like either. But history is history, right? It didn't say they won the Super Bowl every time.
Yeah.
But they've gone. So, and
Terry Collins.
Even with Terry Collins, the Dave Ostetler, the backup guys. Be fun. But people were talking, I want to see that Buffalo Giants rematch in that Super Bowl. It's I'm sure the Buffalo Bills fans don't want to see that. All right, next, let's move on to Sunday's first game. The Cincinnati Bengals against the Buffalo Bills, which will be an interesting emotional game, considering this is going to be a rematch of the unfinished game from Week 17 up in Buffalo. This game will be played up in Buffalo. I made a couple notes here because I know there's a lot of confusion about what's going on. That they thought this was going to be a neutral site game, but with the way the standings fell, they both played the same amount of games. One team, one less one. So that's why the game's still in Buffalo. If Buffalo wins and Kansas City wins, the AFC Championship game will be in Atlanta. If Jacksonville wins, the game will be at whoever has the higher seed. So if Jacksonville wins, the AFC Championship game will be played in either Cincinnati or Buffalo. So there's a lot going on here. There's a lot at stake. I mean, obviously it's not fair for the Chiefs to win and have to play in Atlanta.
Yeah.
And I was reading the reason why they picked that is it's like 8,000 miles from Kansas City and 9,000 miles from Buffalo. So it's like an equal distance for their fans to travel.
Basically.
So, yeah, I think this is going to be a really interesting matchup. Shockingly enough, you would think the Bengals are the team that everybody would be looking out to get because they went to the championship last year. They went on that run and everything like that. But I still think the Bills are the team that everybody's gotten for because they were the favorite one. They're the one everyone's to talk about all year. I think it would be really, really interesting. But, last year, Cincinnati made the run based on their defense. And right now, they're having the same problems they had last year. Their offensive line is beat up. I think they lost like 3 of their 5 in the last few weeks. They're putting it all on Joe Swag. It is all on Joe Burrow. Not that he can't handle it.
Oh, shiesty.
You can't help but love the guy.
Yeah.
And you know that none of this bothers him. I mean, you saw him after he won the championship in college with the cigar and the pose, and he gets it. He gets it.
He got that swag.
But he doesn't just have the swag. He's got the game, too. He's a baller. He's a winner. I think honestly it comes down to the quarterbacks, which is an obvious thing to say. But when you're walking 2 elite quarterbacks out there who can make or break a game, we already talked about it. Josh Allen's been throwing picks all over the field this year.
Yeah.
Joe Burrow's been more protective of the ball. They both have studly offenses. I mean, if you line up their wide receivers next to each other, it's comparable in some ways. I mean, you can't tell me, Chase and Stephon Diggs are that far off from each other. They're not.
Yeah.
I mean, Diggs has got more experience. He's been around longer. But you've seen what Jamar Chase does.
I think Jamar Chase is a better receiver, but I feel that.
Yeah, you just look at the history of it. Diggs has been around longer. Both of them have suspect running games. They both have good running backs. They just don't use them. Mixon's better than Singletary. They just don't use it.
That's a hot take.
I think, Cincinnati got off to a good start this season running the ball. And ever since Mixon got hurt and came back, it's nothing. It's all throwing the ball. Last week, Buffalo tried to run the ball a little bit, had some success. I'm not saying you got to turn into a running team, but maybe at least show it a little bit to open up the rest of your offense.
But at the same time, up-and-coming James Cook, he might not be good this year, but next year he's going to blow up. He's Dalvin Cook's brother, actually.
Yeah. Is he?
Yeah,
Oh, it runs in the family.
he got that talent.
Literally runs in the family.
Very quickly running through the family. Yeah. It's like last week, the Bengals almost were a threat of losing that game if it wasn't for that, poor play call by the Ravens for the QB sneak. How many people still go over the top anymore, realizing how dangerous of a play that is?
But also, they can't pass the ball. Who they got? DeMarcus Robinson, Sammy Watkins. I don't even know who else. I don't
It's
know.
bad.
So kind of what we're hoping for in this game is a 45-42 game. Just something exciting.
Yeah,
it could turn into that. It really could.
Possibly.
The defenses don't show up. Those defenses can be solid, but there's times that neither of them show up. I think this was the hardest game to pick. I honestly think it is. I think still all the pressure is on Buffalo because they're the ones expected. They haven't gotten over the hump yet, and I'm sure they want another shot at Kansas City. And if Cincinnati wins and has to play Kansas City, that doesn't scare them because they've beaten them 3 times in a row.
They own them.
Yeah. So I'm sure Kansas City is like, go Buffalo. For whatever that means. That'll be a 70-68 game. And we saw what happened last year. I don't know. I think for this one, I think the Bengals stay the course. I think the Bengals still bring the swag. I think Joe pulls them to another AFC Championship game. I don't see them getting past the Chiefs again, but I think they go into Buffalo and pull this one out.
I'm going to go the other way around.
Buffalo.
I'm going to go Buffalo. I mean, yeah, Josh Allen makes mistakes, but I think he's going to show up in Buffalo this game. I don't think he'll make as many mistakes as he did against the Dolphins.
So I think it's the key for him, yeah.
I disagree. I'm going with the Bengals.
Personally, I like the Bungles better. I'm going with Joe Shiesty and the Bengals. They're gonna get this.
You're on your own, man.
Okay.
You're on an island, little boy.
Well, we'll see. Last week, we'll see.
Representing Bill's Mafia all by yourself.
Yeah.
So it's crazy to think, though. In all the years I've watched football, this is the first time that Bengals have been, like, good for more than, like, 2 years in a row.
Mhm.
Like, when they had Carson Palmer, there was a couple good years, but they never got over that hump.
Andy Dalton.
Right by
Andy
football.
Dalton.
Andy Dalton. Exactly, Andy Dalton. Yeah, all that talent you had a mediocre quarterback couldn't get you over. All those Chad Johnson
AJ
years.
Green.
AJ Green, all that.
Mm.
And now you got the quarterback to match the talent.
And then you drafted his LSU partner in crime,
I mean,
Jamar Chase.
I think that's a great thing that's been happening around the league because there's so many. What have we learned? How much of this is nature versus nurture? You know, can you just bring in a guy in who's like an amazing quarterback? He's got the skill, he's got the brain. But if you put him on the wrong team with the wrong coaching, the wrong talent, I mean, how many number one picks who have been great quarterbacks and they end up in a bad situation? But how many guys who are like, we don't know about this guy. They let him drop to like late in the first round, second round pick, sit on the bench on a good team, have good talent. Next thing you know, oh, they're a good quarterback. We're surrounded by the right talent. I mean, the Eagles did it with Devontae Smith and Jalen Hurts, and you see this. You bring Jamar in with them. That's chemistry you already have. Is it only talent that wins championships in any sport? It's a chemistry. It's a combination of the two.
Synergy.
But also
Synergy,
think about
that's it.
how did
Correct.
like 10,
Good word.
15 years ago. Oh, like you had Drew Brees starting for San Diego because he's drafted by San Diego.
Mhm.
But guess who was on the bench behind him? Phil Rivers. And then you saw Phil Rivers go on to have his career.
Yeah.
He was never the best. He's never ever the worst. He's better than Kirk Cousins. That's what
Yes.
I know.
Yes.
But yeah,
Yeah, he was a gamer. Nothing. I mean, I remember watching an AFC Championship game where Phil Rivers played the second half on a blown ACL.
2 blown ACLs.
2 ACLs. Yeah, he was a gamer. Nothing kept that dude out of the game. I had nothing but respect for that guy. But again, it's the Chargers. The Chargers going to charge. And
Chargers
it's like
way
Carson
out
Wentz
the
throwing
playoffs.
interceptions. The Chargers are going to find a way to blow it.
Right about that.
And to wrap up our game previews next week, Ryan, let's take a look at the Cowboys at the San Francisco 49ers.
All right. The Niners, what they have to do is they have one of the best offense, probably top 10 offense, right, in the league as well.
Yeah.
I'd say, yeah.
I say key
Top
part of
two.
that is
2.
top 2.
Niners? We're talking about Niners?
Yeah.
They have the best offense and the best defense statistically.
Statistically, yeah.
So I was saying Cowboys really need to neutralize. I think Deebo Samuel is probably the biggest thing they have to neutralize here.
I mean, the Niners have speed everywhere.
Yeah.
And in the NFL, just like driving a car, speed kills.
A big problem, I don't think they should try to neutralize anyone. I think they need to just keep it balanced. Because if you tilt the boat to fully on one side, the other side is going to flip.
True.
I meant slow down, kind of, not really.
Slow down.
neutralize.
Okay.
Slow
Just neuter
down.
him a little bit. Just
Yeah,
attack him.
Yeah.
Just a little bit, and really hope Micah Parsons is here to show out this weekend because I'm mad at the Niners right now.
Yeah.
I want them to lose. I'm betting against them.
Divisional opponents.
Not that
Yeah.
you're a Cowboys fan, you're a anti-Niners fan.
Yes.
Nobody likes the Cowboys.
Nobody likes the Cowboys. There's Cowboys fans who don't even like the Cowboys.
Yeah. That's pretty much it. Except I don't know how Brock Purdy's gonna hold up. I don't know. Will
That's
he do
the-
good again?
Hmm?
Will he repeat?
Yeah. When's he gonna look like a rookie, or is he just gonna keep? Because he didn't look great in the first half the other day,
Yeah.
and the second half he came out and just looked like he had been. Now is that they're putting him in the position just give the ball to the dudes who are really fast and let them do their job.
Yeah, I think he's just passing it to like good players. I mean, we get to really see what he's like next season, I think.
With more pressure. Like I want to see. Obviously, I want to see a good game.
Yeah.
But I'd love to see this be like a one-possession game late in the fourth. Cowboys up like 4 points, and Purdy's gotta go get them a touchdown. Can he be that guy?
A big problem, I don't think they're going to get a lot of pressure off the edge. They have Micah Parsons and DeMarcus Lawrence. Okay. Micah Parsons, debatably the best pass rusher in the league besides like Nick Bosa and TJ Watt. Then you got DeMarcus Lawrence, okay. But a question is, how are you going to get past Trent Williams, who wasn't all pro this year?
Yes.
And Mike McGlinchey, okay, he was really good coming out, and he was really good his first couple seasons. He's taken a little step back, okay, but he's still great. Like the middle, now that's where you eat. That's where you take a whole chomp up at it. The edges, you're not getting much.
No, they're really good at the end. Yeah, you got to attack the middle in that squad. I mean, we've seen teams who have taken Parsons out of the game. I mean, I just think back to that first Eagles-Cowboys game where they didn't really do anything to him. They just left it in space and let him follow Jalen Hurts around to his own destruction. And let him make the choice, and by then it was too late. Yeah, you're right. I mean, that's another thing. The Niners are great up front, too. It's the trenches. I mean, we know at this point in the season, it's if your offensive and defensive lines are healthy, they can make or break games. Yeah, can they keep them upright? Can they get past that? Can you get through Williams? Yeah, I mean, do you just use screen games, get over on McCaffrey and
Do
stuff
you
like that?
play Parsons at traditional linebacker after it doesn't work on him off the edge? Like, there's a lot of questions because he is a good linebacker overall.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
He's very athletic. He's speedy. He's him.
Like lock him on Devo or something.
Yeah, I was gonna say he was also all pro this year. Pretty sure first team all
I'm
pro
pretty
as
sure.
well.
Yeah.
Yeah. He definitely had a great season. I don't know how many forced fumbles he had. I just know he had a lot of them.
A lot.
Oh,
yeah.
yeah.
He's around the ball. He's a ball hawk.
Yeah.
Every defense needs that one guy who's a magnet for
Trayvon
the
Diggs
football.
as well.
Literally, the Niners have 4 All-Pros this season. That is impeccable. That is
That's awesome.
amazing.
They're great.
Yeah.
They're well coached. Shanahan's the real deal.
3 of them are on defense.
I mean, I don't
Fred Warner, Hafunga, and I think Nick Bosa, since he had 18.
Hafunga was second team all pro.
No, he's the first.
Was he?
Yeah, pretty sure he's the
Really?
Yeah.
That's interesting.
So what do you guys think? Who if you're making your picks,
this season.
I'm just gonna go with
who wins this game?
San Francisco. I mean, there's going to be a time where Dak Prescott is going to get inconsistent yet again. I feel like that's going to happen.
That
this
pick
game.
6 is on its way.
Yeah, it's going to happen this game.
This is a classic non-division rivalry. I don't know why I can't pronounce it. But, I'm taking the Cowboys though. I just hate the Niners. For no other reason.
Look, Dallas is
I'm
super
really-
talented. They
Yeah,
really are.
they are.
It's if there was a team that could beat them, I think it's the Cowboys
Yeah.
because they have talent in certain places that they can't necessarily attack, but that can beat you.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Can you
We
imagine?
want
What do you think?
Honestly, I hate all Dallas. I hate their QBs. The QBs have always been mid. Romo, Aikman,
Rumble wasn't
damn
too bad.
Prescott. Mid QBs. I am not taking Dallas. Give me 49ers right now.
There we go.
Really?
And I took the 49ers too because not like I would ever root for the Cowboys. It goes against everything I believe in life. But San Francisco's just been a better team, and Dallas makes mistakes,
Yeah.
and that's what it'll be. San Francisco tends to avoid the mistakes.
Dallas is Dallas.
Dallas is going to Dallas. Exactly. There's a reason why they haven't. This is what their second. That was their first road playoff win in like 30 years since the Super Bowl runs in the 90s. Dallas is going to turn into Dallas, and Mike McCarthy's still their coach. And Prescott's going to throw another interception at a key moment at some point. I think San Francisco's just too well coached and too talented to let it happen. I think it'll be a game. I
Yeah.
think it'll be a game, but
Close.
I think at some point Dallas shoots himself in the foot, and then they make a mistake. San Francisco takes advantage of it, just like it did when Seattle was trying to force the ball, and little turnovers happened, and that sprung the game. Like that game was a lot closer last week than the final score. Those turnovers were close to their own end zone and stuff like that.
And another thing, I mean, the extra points. If Brett Maher can't kick, I mean, didn't they just, like we said, they
you would
hired,
think,
right?
and you missed 4 extra points, it would come back to bite you in a game.
Yeah.
They got lucky it didn't, but yes, they got somebody on the practice squad.
So,
They put some pressure on them a little bit.
Although that got in the practice squad. we
yeah,
don't
you don't want to be
No.
Burger King player of the
Yeah.
game again.
Player of the game.
And I think the guy they signed for the practice squad was like a dude who like sprained an ankle celebrating a kick at some point. That's one of those guys.
But
Oh,
also,
jeez.
quick, Jason Peters will not practice on Thursday.
No, because they were talking about they didn't know if he was going to play or not. I mean that's bad.
He still plays.
Yep.
Mhm.
He's like the Ren alignment. So when he gets hurt, you call Jason Peters, to fill in the left side. Yeah, he's 39. But that's, you don't have him, and you got to play one of your other guys. That defensive line in San Francisco is just even more ripe. They're going to eat. Yeah, Zeke can feed himself all he wants, but it's not going to matter.
That boy's so fat.
And that's why Tony Pollard's the lead running back now.
Fed him too much, turned him into Hal.
Eddie Lacy.
It's true, Eddie Lacy. Anything you guys want to add before we close up the show?
No.
I just want to wish everybody listening to this a nice weekend, and also fly Eagles fly.
Same. Except not fly, Eagles fly.
Oh, okay.
All right. Thank you for joining us on the first episode of the ACIT ProPod. I want to thank my co-host for joining me. Next week will be similar to this one, but we'll have a little less to talk about. We'll take a look at the big plays from this week's divisional games and preview the upcoming AFC and NFC title games. And I think I speak for Jaden when I say, go Birds!
Go Birds!
Fly, Eagles, fly. And like a coach always said, keep your feet in bounds, fall on the loose ball, and keep your head up high, because there's always next season. Enjoy the games this weekend and continue to pursue what you love. We'll see you next time.